Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to Four Lights Wellness. My name is Omid. I am going to start a spine mobilization pre-workout routine. And I figured, hey, I got a bunch of foam rollers. Let me teach you guys a little bit about how to use them, when to use what size roller, etc. So, most people, if they've ever foam rolled before, they will use the standard 6-inch foam roller. This one's a little bit softer than like the standard black one that most people get. These are great for big muscles. You're trying to roll the quads out, you're trying to roll the lats out, big giant things like that. Awesome. I'm going to be using this for the spine mostly, so I'm not going to use this one. Let's get rid of that. The next size down that I like to use a lot is the 4-inch foam roller, and this one is my standard go-to chiropractic tool for mobilizing the spine, the ribs, lungs, all of that kind of stuff. I do have one of these little 3-inch rollers here, and I'll teach you guys about why I have this in a second. But let's talk about the spine for a little bit. The bigger bones are kind of down lower in the spine, the lumbar stuff, and the smaller, tiny ones are in the cervical spine. You really don't want to foam roll stuff in the neck. There's a whole bunch of reasons why. These muscles are really tiny and easily injured with stuff. They also have a lot of spindle cells, so they hurt a ton. So you don't want to foam roll up there too much. Fingers are the easiest way to kind of manipulate this sort of stuff. There's some other gadgets, but that's a whole separate video for a different thing. But I'm going to start with this 4-inch roller. And when I'm preparing my spine for any type of back extension type workout, some deadlifts, some squats, the rare chance that I'm doing prone cobras and that kind of stuff, what I like to do is I like to kind of start from the bottom up. And I'm going to show you something that I don't like doing first. So, if I get this foam roller right into my lumbar spine and I just go backwards, these bones are big. They got sharp teeth on the back of them, those facet joints, and that hurts so bad. Now, again, it doesn't mean that I never put something there. Remember what I said about that 3-inch roller? Oh, this one is a lot better for something like that. It's less aggressive, and I can actually fit it between the facet joints, and that feels quite a bit better. But I still don't really want to mobilize too much directly on the lumbars, especially right on that facet joints. There's better tools for that. Where I like to start is right below the ribs. You kind of see me on my emaciated self right now. I'm not as big as I used to be. And then what I'll do, I'll just leave the head and the shoulders in the ground, and you'll see my hips are kind of floating up off the ground. Right now, I just feel this in my lumbar erectors, right at that lumbothoracic or thoracolumbar junction. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to let my hips just drop down towards the ground until I start to feel some restriction. Some clients will ask me every now and then, hey, what does restriction feel like? What does a mobilization feel like? Easiest way I can describe it is something in your body saying don't do that. So I just start up high. I just slowly lower down until eventually the body says, yeah, I don't like that. And I'm just going to come right back up. Basically hinging and coming back. That's what we're doing. With this thoracolumbar junction, I find personally, and with a lot of clients, that rotation tends to be the way to get through this. So I'll drop the hips out to the left and rotate the knees, drop the hips out to the right, and I definitely feel more restriction there. So here's how I do it. I just get into where it's kind of restricted, where my body says, maybe not. Take a big old breath. Breath cycle for most people, about 3 to 5 seconds-ish, and then I come back out. I'll hit the other side. I can get that hip all the way to the ground, no problem, so I'll just spend all the time on the right. Hip's already on the ground, what do you know? Now here's the trick. Each of the thoracic vertebrae are roughly about 2 fingers. God plays fun tricks. This is just mostly your 2 fingers, your thoracic vertebra. You got big hands, you got big vertebra. I'm going to roll this roller up 2 fingers worth. And now I'm mobilizing a little bit more of the thoracic spine rather than the lumbar, but because I'm still getting kind of this side-to-side sweep through here, I'm still going to get some mobilization through that lumbar spine with rotation. You can actually, if you can get the hips down to the ground, you can just drape in this position and just settle and just feel That's just nice. And if that's aggressive for you, again, get something smaller. 3-inch roller. I know a lot of people will say 1 inch is a big deal. It doesn't matter sometimes in the bedroom, but with foam rolling, that 1 inch can really save your back from a lot of excess stress. And some people I will just give on their program 5 minutes just in this position, just breathing. Just letting the body settle. If you watched my video about the anterior and posterior longitudinal ligaments, it's a great way to get that creep back into here. A lot of people tend to get tight through their upper abdominals. This will work for that. For today, I'll stick to the 4. And I'll go up a little bit higher. And same thing here. I'm just going to take the legs and the hips side to side, just feeling where the stuckness is. So for me, it's pretty obvious to me. I'm having more trepidation going to the right. So I'm just going to spend some time there, mobilizing through here, pontificating the meaning of life, the crazy variety of clientele that I have right now. I have youngins that are trying to get better at skateboardings. I got a whole bunch of people that are trying to get rid of chronic pain they've had for 20, 30 years. I just got a call from a lady that's asking about menopause, which I know a little bit about. It's a fun life, but oh, hey, there's that mobilization of the rib. Oh, and there I go. Come back, Mike. So from here, this is kind of the mid spot where, especially for guys, we got a little heavier upper bodies than lower bodies. I'm not going to get a lot of leverage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prop myself on my elbows. I'm going to go up that 2 fingers. And this is a really, really important part with the head not on the ground. What can happen, there's kind of something some people have referred to as a kinetic shift that can happen when one stuck joint all of a sudden lets go. It can reverberate all the way up through. And again, these bones are tiny up here. So what we want to do is we want to cradle the neck. I want to make sure that I'm not going into extension from here at the cervical. I'm trying to get my extension from the ribs. Using that upper body weight as best I can still rotate the lower body if I want, or I can rotate the upper. Just little bits at a time, just scanning through. And at this level, I don't really feel very much. So why waste time? I'm going to go up a little bit more. Inhaling back. I feel, no, again, there's some stuff to the right. I wonder what's going on there. It's the same thing. I'll just breathe and hold about 3 to 5 seconds. And then I'll come back up, reset, go back into it. Now I can get all the way back. These mobilizations don't take very long. And I don't usually do this more than really, once every couple of weeks. I haven't done it in a while. I was in Southern California a couple weeks ago. I spent a bunch of hours in the car sitting in a classroom, just mobilizing, getting some general health in. But again, I do this regularly, roughly about once a month, once every couple weeks. If you've never done this before, 3-inch roller is a great idea for you. Getting something smaller, really great idea because you might be having trouble holding your breath. You're so tight. When you get up to about right between the shoulder blades, there's a little bit of challenge with leverage because, again, there's not a lot of upper body coming back. This is about as high as I'm going to go. But I can feel all sorts of stuff in my sternum resisting me right now. Kind of going to the right again. I can go left, no problem. Right is just stuck, so I'm going to spend some time here. When you are doing this for yourself, what I encourage my clients to think about, and I encourage you to think about, is you are taking some time out of your busy, crazy, chaotic life to actually give yourself some self-love. You don't need to go out for treatment and have other people taking care of you all the time. It's nice. Don't get me wrong. I love getting a massage. Marta Landadon in the Bay Area, my massage therapist of choice, she is amazing. But the idea that, hey, we can take care of ourselves. We don't have to be reliant on other people. And if we're too busy or don't have enough cash to go spend a whole bunch of money on a massage, you can do this for 10, 15 minutes every couple days. And you'd be surprised how much better you tend to feel, even mentally, just from being like, yeah, I took care of myself a little bit. So here, oh, there it goes. Ah, oh, nice little back. Again, I didn't take my head back. So once you get to roughly about the mid ribs, this is where we take the foam roller vertical. Let's take the butt bone right on one side. What I'm looking for is this little corner right here to go 2 fingers above where I was. So I'm going to take it roughly about there. I'm going to find that little spot right above where I was, 2 fingers. Make it a little square here. There we go. OCD kicking in. Again, I'm cradling the neck, and it's using the weight of the head, but it's not going backwards. I'm tucking my chin with some intention. I'm cradling that neck, and I'm trying to take the head with the neck flat backwards. And when you get to here, little side-to-side shifts are awesome. What do you know? The right side's tight again, Omid. What's going on here? I'm going to get stuck right there. I'm just going to hold and breathe. There it goes. If you haven't done this in a long time, there will be a whole bunch of stuck spots, and you just want to spend some time there. It's better to spend 10-15 minutes on 1-2 spots and actually fully release them than spending 10-15 minutes trying to hit it all and just barely scratching the surface. So now I'm almost right at the, what the hell is it called? The cervical thoracic junction, the CT junction. This, if you sit at a desk for any length of time, is always the one that gets tight on most people. This can, when it gets tight, can cause a whole bunch of neck issues. It can cause thoracic outlet, cause breathing pattern dysfunctions, could even cause some thyroid things. That's where the neck, the thyroid lives, in the neck. But let's just say you have a tight shoulder. This area needs to be able to extend for that shoulder to go all the way up overhead. Separate videos on that. I've already done it a bunch of times. But if you can't extend through here, you're going to have shoulder problems galore. I found one guy that had a golfer's elbow. He'd never played golf before. And this was super tight. So I mobilized that for him, and he's like, oh my God, my golf pain's gone. I'm like, now you should start playing golf. I'm going to go up one more. Get right into the base of that cervical spine, right at T1. And I'm just going to try and go backwards. I'm not quite on it. There we go. If you don't quite know your anatomy and all these little bones, again, you're just looking for places where the spine says, yeah, I don't think so. That's probably not going to happen. But it shouldn't hurt. This should not be a painful experience. I've seen plenty of YouTube videos on foam rolling. I mean, there was one where they literally got one of those like parking barriers, those big yellow French fry sort of things. They were foam rolling their calves on that. I was like, oh my God, that is meat destroying sort of stuff. I mean, if you're a crazy high level athlete watching this, power to you. You probably got tighter tissues than most people, but most of the people that watch my stuff are, you know, like me. I'm just trying to get through life. So there we go. Okay. Now I am feeling, when I go back here, a little bit of something in my, let's say C2, C3. So here's a bonus for you. I wasn't planning on doing this. I'm going to grab that 6-inch. The reason I'm going to grab this 6-inch instead of the 4-inch, I do, when the head is trying to go back a little bit to try and get the upper cervical stuff, it's just not hard enough. So this is going to be a little bit of a sharper corner for me. And big disclaimer here. If you are trying to mobilize your cervical spine and you know you have neck issues, this ain't for you, right? What other neck issues could be here? So if you have stenosis through here, if you have osteoporosis through here, if you have just general arthritis, pain equals no. We're trying to listen to the body here when we're getting through the upper cervical. So it should just be a feeling of like, okay, something is stuck and I just want to get it to move, you know, let's say 3%, 3 to 5% more. So you can find the occiput right at the base of the skull, going straight across right underneath that occiput, C1. I'm going to put my C1 right on there, right at the base, and I'm just going to kind of go side to side. If you want to add some stuff to this, it's not just the nose turning, it's the eyeballs looking in the direction you want to go. So you can get some massage for the suboccipitals there. It feels a little tight on the left, not too bad. And these are roughly about 1 finger. If the thoracic was 2. So I'm just going to go 1 finger a little higher, right to C2. Again, I'm going to support the side of the head just a little bit. Take some pressure off of there so I can kind of lift if it's too much, let go if it's not enough. And oh yeah, C2 is definitely a little stuck to the left, not to the right. That's an interesting finding because everything else was tight on the right. So same thing. I'm just going to go right to the point where the body says, yeah, if you go any more than that, that might be a little rough. I'm just going to hold it and breathe for a second. Do some side tilts here, taking the ears this way and this way. Side flexion at the skull and the cervical spine is coupled with rotation. So as I tilt my head to the left, I'm asking my spine to rotate to the left. And that's where it's getting stuck. I might even add some rotation, looking and turning the nose and the eyes both to the left. Up, and I just got a nice little click. I'm not sure if that microphone picked it up. Usually clicks on the neck are louder in your head than everywhere else. Ah, that feels a lot better. So that's C2. Let's see if C3 has anything. 2 on 3 is usually where I tend to get stuck too much. Right about there, yep. A little bit here. And these motions are small. That's actually a little tight on me, so I'm actually going to pick up the head just slightly. So I have a little less pressure on those facets. And that feels pretty good. And there's another little click. So, if you are going to chiropractors, you are not wasting your time. They are awesome. If things have been stuck for a really, really long time, it's always helpful to get a skilled pair of hands in there to actually unstuck those types of joints. But once you've gone for a while, if you're still relying on the chiropractor to get this stuff done for you, there's better ways to do it. Big 6-inch foam rollers like this, about 35, 40 bucks. The 3-inch roller, I think, was 12. The 4-inch roller was about 20. It's just the cost of foam. It's not a cheap material to make things out of, especially for any quality. But 10, 15 minutes. This video is 17 minutes long, and I was talking the whole time. So you can do this on your own. If you ever need help learning about this sort of stuff or any special considerations you might need to have for your specific case, we can always set up a free 30-minute consultation just to chit-chat through this stuff. I can watch you do it, make sure you're doing it right, give you some tips. Otherwise, that's it for this video. I hope this information is very helpful to you all. As always, have a happy and healthy rest of your day. Enjoy your brand new spine. We'll see you in the next one.